Good morning, YouTube friends and family, and welcome to today's baking edition of the Wellness Homesteader. So finally, today, we are going to be making some homemade Ezekiel bread completely from scratch, grinding our own grain. So the book that I am using, I've shared before, and I will leave a link in the description box, the Essential Homegrown Flour book. Now, this comes from breadbeckers.com. And I will be sure to leave a link. I'm not sure if you can purchase it on Amazon. If it's both places, I'll put it both places. They do ship free media mail. So if you're not a user of Amazon, it might be a good option for you. So the first thing is their recipe for Ezekiel flour, which is used in the bread, makes 3 large loaves. So I decided to cut it in half, and I have all the pans out here. So I have my Pullman pan, I have some little pans, I have a regular pan, and we'll just have to see how much dough the bread actually makes and which seem to be the best. So let's talk about the flour first. I have not ground it. So in this bowl right here, I have a 1.25 cups of red wheat berries, 3/4 cup spelt, 1/4 cup whole barley, 1/8 cup whole millet, 1/8 cup dried lentils, and then 1 tablespoon each of great northern beans, kidney beans, and pinto beans. So I have all of those items that I purchased from Azure Standard, all organic. So I'm so excited to actually start making this bread, and I've been remiss in getting to it. So for that, I apologize to all of you. So over here, and guys, you know my kitchen's tiny. I have my Wonder Mill. So the Wonder Mill has attachments, actually 3. One for amaranth and teff, one for quinoa, tapioca, and then 1 for large beans. So that is the adapter I am going to be using. And I'm gonna try this time. If you remember our maiden voyage, I blew flour everywhere. So one thing is, make sure this is tightly latched and that these are tightly hooked together. Now this is extremely, extremely loud. And I wanna show you here. The lid says, the world's quietest grain mill. I would hate to hear the world's noisiest grain mill. So because I do have beans in here, and it does say, make sure to stir them well, I am going to use the bean adapter attachment, and then I will just have to see if I think the flour is too coarse, etc., etc. So I am going to, I have to turn on the bread, or the Wonder Mill. I'm sorry guys, I'm still having speakage problems before I can start grinding. So I'm gonna pause you for a moment. I will bring you back once I have this mixture milled to show you what it looks like. Stay tuned. So I have donned an apron, excuse the microwave in the background. Guys, this actually milled up beautifully, and it smells amazing. It smells nothing like store purchased flour. It smells like grain. So if you're not grinding your own grain, and I haven't been, full disclosure, I can see that this is going to make a great difference in taste. So let me tell you a little bit about Ezekiel bread. I realized I didn't even talk about it. So the name of this bread comes from the Bible. In Ezekiel 4:9, God tells the prophet Ezekiel to combine wheat, spelt, barley, millet, lentils, and beans, and grind them into flour to make a special bread. The combination of grains and beans makes this a highly nutritious, complete protein bread that provides all the essential amino acids. There are many versions of Ezekiel bread. This one is slightly dense, but sweet and flavorful. So it says, even though this bread uses yeast as a leavening agent, it is a batter type bread. It will never form into a ball of dough, and so can't be shaped in loaves. Rather, it is poured into the pans. If using a stand mixer to knead the dough, use the paddle attachment or the roller scraper mechanism instead of the dough hook. So let's go ahead and get started. So hold on, let me grab my water. So into your mixer bowl, I'm sure you can see the steam. And hey guys, I really apologize about my Tuesday video. I don't know why it was so foggy. Might have been that the camera lens was dirty, so my apologies. So I'm making a half batch. So in a large mixing bowl, beat together hot water, oil, honey, and salt. So it is 2 cups hot water, a 1/4 cup of oil, we'll see how many times I have to go run for additional things. I'm pretty good for that. Honey. Now, I have already pre-greased my OXO liquid or dry measuring cup. I've got it turned to the liquid side. And this honey, guys, is so good. It is extremely honey blossom flavored. And for the life of me, I can't remember where I purchased it. Probably at a farmer's market. Did I say honey blossom? I meant orange blossom. Okay, so there is our 1/2 cup honey. And then salt, we need 1 teaspoon of salt. So let me pull up the bowl. I need a 3rd arm here. And I'm just gonna eyeball the salt, guys. You certainly can measure. Oops. So we'll let that get a good mix. And then all we need to add is our Ezekiel flour and instant yeast. So hang on. I do have my SAF yeast, throwing things on the floor. And because I used exact measurements, I'm not going to measure this flour out. If it seems too thin, I'll grind some more hard red and throw in. But I think it'll be fine because it is a liquid type batter. All right, that looks pretty mixed. So let's go ahead and start adding our flour. So the reason I'm not adding the yeast first is because I did put salt in, and sometimes salt can deactivate, if you will, yeast, or it does not like yeast, or yeast does not like salt, I guess. Wow, this is going to be a liquid bread. Oh, I wish you all could smell this. It is so different than flour. Like, I've never really, and don't forget to sprinkle the mixer liberally. I've never thought flour had a smell to it, but this smells nutty and grainy and delicious. Maybe I'm just hungry, guys. It is 5:43 in the morning. Okay, so we want 1 tablespoon of yeast. Let me grab that. I'm just going to sprinkle it over the dough, give it a second mix. Well, maybe not that high. And it says, continue mixing for about 5 minutes to let the gluten develop. So I'm going to set a timer. Y'all have seen a mixer go round and round. I'm going to clean up my flour flute and I'll bring you right back. Our 5 minutes is up. Let me turn off this timer so it doesn't keep hooting at us. So what I have here is a 13-inch Pullman pan. I've used this a lot for my sourdough bread. And I think just judging by the volume of what I'm seeing, ooh, I left a little flour on that beater. And you can see this is nice and glutinous. I think that it will fit in the Pullman pan. If it does not rise as tall, I still think that'll be okay. One of the things that this recipe talks about is putting your bread into a loaf pan, but I want to be able to like use this as toast. So let me just Wow, this is like a very glutinous bread, as you can see. So let's dump it in. And remember, it hasn't risen yet, so wow, that is like one big stretchy elastic piece of dough. Wow. Well, I hope this comes out delicious, because if it doesn't, y'all never see the video and I'll be going to Plan B for a different recipe. But I think it will be very good. Bread Beckers are quite famous for their Ezekiel bread recipe, so I'm gonna think pause. All right. Wow, that's got a long way to rise. Okay. Sometimes you just got to go in with the hands, because we don't want it uneven. So I would say just spread it out with a spatula, with your hands, whatever works best for you. And then we are going to let it rise for 30 minutes. And it says don't let it come more than within a 1/4 inch of the pan, or it will overflow during baking. I'm trying to get those corners. All right. So here's what we have, guys. I am going to pop it into my slightly warm oven for 30 minutes. I will bring you back to show you what it looks like. Guys, ready for the big reveal? Here we go. How beautiful. This rose more than double. So the Pullman pan is perfect if you have a Pullman pan. And I will definitely leave a link in the description box to a Pullman pan. If you don't have one and you like baking bread, this is incredible. So I've got my oven, preheating now to 350. It says bake 40 to 45 minutes. I've told you a million times my oven's a little slow, so I'm not sure how long, but I can let you know when it comes out. So it is 6:24 now. Kitchen's all cleaned up. And we will have homemade bread for breakfast if my growling stomach can wait. So I want to thank you all again. And I don't want to monopolize my channel with my mother. But one thing I've realized, guys, and I hope I can get through this without crying. A lot of you have been in my shoes or are in my shoes. And, you know, I can see the demographics of my channel. We're all of that certain age where our adult parents are needing a bit more help. And I can truly say that this is one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. Sorry, guys. Because my mom is basically begging me not to insist that she move. And my name is Kim. I am an enabler. If there was a way around it, I would not do that. The fact of the matter is, why I can't keep her with in-home care is she really needs round-the-clock supervision, and that is outside what she can afford without selling her home. So it's going to put her in the same position, and I really believe, guys, and I would love to hear your thoughts, if you've gone through this with having a person resistant to assisted living. I think once she has regular food, because she does not eat well, never has, social interaction, new friends, activities, she will be about 15 minutes from me versus 45. So it will at least make it easier for me to visit, which really is neither here nor there. But I am looking at what's convenient for me. There's no sense in me moving her further away, because it's me and only me. And you know, I've also learned from you all, thank you. I would never mention any names, but many of you have shared that maybe there are several siblings and there's always the one that is elected. And my particular situation is that it is me. That's the way it is. And you know what? I'm okay with it. It's not that I care to do anything. I just want my mom safe. So, today is, wait for it, Tuesday. And Thursday we do have the assessment. So the assisted living is coming out to see with their own eyes, because guys, I know from a career as a nurse, families sometimes either don't have a clear picture or they're not honest because they're afraid the assisted living will turn them down. And so they have to see with their own eyes what mom can do, what mom can't do, what her mental capacity is, etc. So I appreciate your prayers for, well, by the time y'all see this, it'll be like gone. So never mind. I just appreciate your prayers so I can stop crying so much, because I certainly have done that. So 200 degrees on our oven, waiting for 350. I will bring you back and show you our finished Ezekiel bread. Oh, and I was trying to edit as I go, trying to be efficient and keep ahead on videos. What I meant to say was, the recipe book says you can bake it in 2 13x9 pans if you do a full recipe. I don't want bread cake. I want bread slices. This is going to be perfect for the toaster. And it will toast. It is a dense bread, so I'm sure it will be fine. And just looking at the way it's risen, I'm super impressed. And I just hope it tastes as good as I think. I have had Ezekiel bread before from the store and various sprouted grain breads. I like that taste. I love it with avocado on it. So stay tuned for a little bit more. Well, here is our beautiful Ezekiel bread. I actually turned it upside down because I will share the top has a little indent, so it maintained its rise for the most part, but it looks prettier on this side. So let's give it a cut and see what our Ezekiel bread looks like. Nice crispy crust. And again, just as a reminder, this is going to be a very dense bread. So it looks absolutely delicious. Here's a shot of the inside. So let's give it a taste. Wow, guys, good. Very good. I always take too big of a bite, and it's stuck on my tooth. Slightly sweet, very nutty whole grain flavor. Definitely not like sandwich bread you would buy in the store. So I will give this 2 thumbs up, a definite repeat. Really good, better than the store's Ezekiel bread by far. So I hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you haven't already, please go ahead and smash that like button. Drop me a comment below. Are you going to try Ezekiel bread? Or what is your favorite type of bread to make? I'm so glad you joined me today. I do appreciate your time. And as always, be healthy, be well, be blessed, and I will see you all very soon. Take care.